Hi everyone, my name is Pusin or Jessica, and I'm a rising sophomore in college. Today I'm going to be talking about neuroplasticity and attachment imprinting. So, first of all, the definitions of the keywords that we will be using throughout this presentation. So, the first word is neuroplasticity. So, neuroplasticity is the ability of the neural networks in the brain to change and rebuild new neural maps and create new organization. The second definition is attachment style. Attachment style is a theory in which relationships between humans can be identified with. Each individual has a similar pattern to one of the four set attachment styles, which we will go over later in the presentation. And imprinting is any type of learning where an infant learns behavior from their caregiver or like the people and events around them. Okay, next let's talk about Siegel's neuroplasticity. So Siegel developed this idea of neuroplasticity and attachment style and developing that in mindsight. So first we're going to talk about the neuroplasticity. So first, when an infant is born, the infant is born with a blank mind that seeks attachment from caregivers. And like external stimuluses from experiences around them that they will experience triggers the neural pathways, which activates neurons to generate images and maps that result in a whole neural map of a concept that can be concluded from that outside experience. So basically, when you're young, you see someone do something, especially your caregivers do something, and you think, oh, this is the right way to do it. So the brain creates a whole map of how they did it so that you could duplicate it. But the thing is, you are not stuck with that one idea forever throughout your whole life because your brain is plastic, meaning that it can change. So new experiences means new neurons, meaning that when you experience new things later on in your life, they can overwrite on that past map that is in your mind already. So you can reshape ideas and concepts. And that is what we call experience dependent development. So lastly, this map that is created from the childhood experiences creates some type of self, like the child has some type of self and individuality, and that results from the child experiences, resulting in some type of emotional regulation and attachment style. So basically, your brain is plastic, and you can change the experiences and the way you wire your brain and all the neural maps. But because of the things that we experience when we're younger, the attachment style results, and that attachment style is what we cannot pick because that is what we are birthed with initially. However, once again, the brain is plastic, so this attachment style can be modified. Okay, so let's watch a short video where Dr. Siegel is going to talk about how we can change our own brains. Okay, so in that video, he's saying that when neurons are fired, you can get them to rewire, and that when you focus attention on the mind itself instead of the past experiences or future things that might happen, you can change the way you regulate yourself and compose yourself. So this focus on the mind itself at that present moment is what he's calling mindsight. Okay, next thing is, however, bad experiences will lead to maladaptive integration in the neural map, leading to toxic traits of unhealthy attachment styles. So when we talk about attachment styles, we think there are good attachment styles, healthy attachment styles, but there are also bad attachment styles. And the bad experiences that you've faced and gone through when you were younger lead to a bad and toxic neural map, which leads to toxic traits of unhealthy attachment styles. Okay, let's talk about the 3 attachment styles that are bad, that are toxic, and maladaptive. So the first one is anxious attachment style. Anxious attachment style is when the person has a fear of abandonment, so they cling onto their partners and they struggle to communicate directly, and they tend to be overly jealous and they overthink things instead of directly communicating their issue with their partner. The second is avoidant fearful attachment style. So avoidant fearful attachment style is when the person wants a relationship, but later becomes scared of rejection and distress after committing into that relationship. So they have very low self-esteem and they doubt their partners all the time because they're scared of being left. So they're very highly anxious. The third maladaptive attachment style is avoidant dismissive attachment style. So avoidant dismissive attachment style is when the person has a fear of intimacy. So they're basically emotionally unavailable. They are in a relationship and they talk to that person when it's needed, but they don't rely on them, but instead they rely on themselves because they trust themselves and they don't need to be intimate with other people. Okay, so a good attachment style is something like a secure attachment style. Secure attachment style is when you're able to trust others and be trusted by others, and you allow yourself to be intimate with others easily and you're not afraid of intimacy. Okay, so finally, attachment imprinting. So attachment imprinting means that experiences seen throughout childhood can tend to act as the base of self-development in the infant. So what attachment style the child tends to be comes from that base of childhood experience. So when that child experience is bad, then the base tends to be bad. But just because the base is bad does not mean that the attachment style cannot become a good attachment style, because your brain is plastic and you can make it happen. And because of that, because of neuroplasticity, all that development that happens in the childhood does not really determine what you will end up with. So your attachment style can keep developing as you grow, as long as you are aware of it and you try to get out of the toxic pattern and toxic traits. So an example is that if the childhood environment is toxic, then the infant will develop toxic traits, but new experiences and new relationships can make new neural maps over those toxic neural maps and make it something better. So every time there's a new experience, the brain structures and reorganizes, meaning that you're stuck with a toxic attachment style forever because of your childhood. You won't be stuck because you can choose to change it and you can learn to change it as you keep growing and experiencing new things. So yeah, that's it for the presentation. And here are some sources that I read through to create this presentation, but that's about it. Thank you so much for tuning in.